That is not something I grew down there. That's like Scotty Bear stuffing. That's not weed. Push on. What do we got? Feels like a small. Oh! We got a small. A little guy. Dinner bell. Seems like a big lure for this little rod.
Look at there, the laser actually works.
What's the fucking feed look like? Did I fix it? Nope. Oh, it's fucking delayed big time. Fucking feed is delayed big time. Holy fuck.
That's the tricky part, is when it still knows how to run it.
Morning. 10 minutes later, somebody else noticed I said good morning. Oh my god, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck happened to this YouTube bullshit. I really don't. I don't know what happened to this YouTube bullshit. Oh, fuck. One, two. Fucking 23-second delay.
What I know about the factory now and how it's been able to power this adventure, and it's been able to power 32
They gotta make sure they monitor your shit so they don't want to kick you off.
I went through, factory reset my router in the shop. I fine-tuned everything. I don't know, dude. Fuck.
I don't know. I'm fixing to take my ass to the gym now.
I might just redo my laser PC.
Well, maybe not really soon, but like usual. Not like a baby. Yeah. Maybe not PB, but pretty darn close to the trip. That's pretty good. So I'm right on the pan optics. After the camera scroll, kind of a second coming in and doing its thing. And then boom. That is a big one. That's, I don't know. That might be the PB for the trip. Understand? Like 21.2. That's a monster. Woo! Thank you, Jesus. Textbook thought. Saw the mark. Chased it with a little jiggle.
No, I did not take Christmas shit down from the attic.
And boom. Got it.
Got a fucking headache.
Smell like fish. I give up. Who cares? This dust that I just caught when I got home was actually the one I decided to do a gaiachaku of. I love the camo print on these fish. The weird thing is though, when I went and cleaned up the fish with the salt scrub, this camo pattern, which I'd love to make a sun shirt out of, like that with that pattern on it, it actually scrubbed off the fish. The pattern went away completely. It like kind of exists not on the scales, but like in the slime layer, or maybe I scrubbed all the scales off. At the beginning of it, like I usually do, and because it is a slimy fish, I wanted to make sure it was dry, so I didn't put any of that into the painting. That messes up the paint and makes it not last, as well as
Bump it up to
paper
6,000.
get ruined. So I pinned it, put it in the fridge. And
We're not losing frames, so I'm gonna bump it up to 6,000.
Because of the size of it, and like I said, because it's a slimy fish, some of the paper was getting glued to it. I had to go really quickly. I had my brother come up and give me a hand, and he held the paper off while I did one part of it, and worked my way down the fish. And in the end, I managed to get some really awesome prints. But I'm gonna have to finish them for another video.
It's holding 6,000.
Eyeballs, engraving, and all that stuff.
Morning, Mr. Carl.
Really good. I must be up to almost 12. I'm so glad it's not a fish with a limit, you know? If it was like a lake trout or something like that, I'd be like, oh, yay, well, I guess we're done.
Let's see how close.
Hey, movie time. What am I going to pick out for a movie?
How on this is.
They have a good movie to go with your steak and catching fish. I did just start to look up The Mummy. It's one of my favorite classics. Something about the adventure Indiana Jones did.
Piper, what do you got?
Like romancing the stone, saving the colonel, the monster of a mummy.
I need...
Did you find your
Alright, get down. I don't want you on me, dude. Doc, YouTube chat. There we go. All message you send will appear publicly. Okay. Sign in. How's the bus coming? Been so busy. Break today. That's dead on. It is dead on.
I'm getting weird. I've been spending too much time by myself, and that happens. I get a
just...
Nope, I got it to bed. Don't worry.
0.
Hi guys.
Go on. Yeah. Perfect. Yum yum.
Almost dead on.
Stop sticking my...
Multi hot sauce there. Who'd have thought adobo, steak, and microwave, and then air fryer would be that good? That is amazing. Fire a movie.
Yeah, Alexa started going off to take the dogs out. And I'm like calling for Piper. She's not there, so I'm like... So I took Violet out and I saw your truck. I thought you were at work.
It's fucking Saturday. I'm not working Saturday.
Oh, it's Saturday?
Oh my fucking god.
Oh, I'm sorry if I
can't
don't...
find my ibuprofen.
It's in your truck.
Where? Go get it then.
I'm so confused.
May fire my laser up today. Cool. Cool. Good luck on fucking YouTube. Fucking bullshit. I've missed these Saturday lives. Thanks, bud. Fucking YouTube, I'm telling you. When I shut down 6 months ago, no settings changed, nothing. I came back and it's buffering, it's dropping frames, you name it, dude. I fucking redid my computer twice. I factory reset all my routers. It's just fucking stupid. I don't understand what the fuck happened. $7,000. Apply. Okay. Let's see what happens. Change accounts just so people know. Sawyer, are you still streaming on YouTube? Uh-huh. I have a feeling it's in my work truck.
Could be.
Have you experienced frame drops and lags and like, dude, I was up to 5-minute lag and buffering. And what's stupid is nothing's changed on my system from when I shut down.
When I answer you, I'll answer them.
Oh, it's going to be 5 minutes before they answer because, you know, YouTube is so wonderful.
I didn't know it was already the weekend.
Alright, so I have to do this.
See?
What?
I don't have a calendar, so I don't know what day
Oh
it
my
is.
god.
Life needs to slow down.
What?
Because it's going too fast.
So this. Pay attention to lag or anything. Oh. Yeah, I'm having a bitch of a time on YouTube. Last night I spent 3 hours factory resetting my router in the shop and going through every single fucking setting. It seems to be okay, I guess.
Someone's asking about the pink cup.
Mr. Wilson, are you watching the feed? I just fired up the laser. Like 10 minutes ago. I need to...
Oh, that's my grandpa?
Duh! God, you're brilliant.
Listen, I only got 1 hour of sleep, okay?
This is what I fucking deal with. 24/7.
Sorry, Grandpa. Didn't know it was you. Listen, I only got 1 hour of sleep.
Yeah, sorry, I've done a pink test. I've done all that shit. I've even... Where is it? Here. History. Maybe you want to try this one, Sawyer.
Jamie said you leave me alone.
shit, it's not.
Here you go.
Here.
At the end of the wind. Wow.
Let me find it for you, Sawyer. Oh my god, dog. What the fuck is it? No, I can't find it. What? History.
There we go. It's filling up with hot water pretty quick.
Oh, there it is.
Scalding hot right there. This right here must be the source. Woo.
Copy.
It's boiling. This over here is just warm. You can see all the steam coming out.
Check this out, Sawyer.
All the other hot steam popping out higher up there. Now there's a hose over there bringing hot water down the hill. We gotta figure out why it's not working.
A fancy tool I came across. I'm getting 680. And I wish I had fucking 927 to upload. Holy shit.
Alright, so we got cold water there, boiling hot water there, and warm water flowing in here. And you can kind of use the three to adjust your temperature.
Alright.
Oh man, I want to jump in this right now, but it's getting dark and I am getting hungry. And I need to give this some time to clean out the pool and get it nice and warm.
Close this.
That is so awesome. I think the only thing that can be more exciting than that is a hot meal. Oh, I am so hungry.
Actually, I want to see. One.
These bratwursts are pre-cooked, so you just want to warm them up really. Put a little bit of water in the bottom of the frying pan, bring it to a boil. By the time the water evaporates, the bratwurst is piping hot through and through.
Jeez, big lag.
Oh, that's delicious. It's not fast.
26 seconds.
Jesus.
Two things that are really appreciating right now.
Unfucking real, man.
It's better than nothing.
See if we could bump this up to 8,000.
I'll tell you what,
Output.
guys, exhausted. I had to get
8.
up at 5:30 in the morning to catch my flight. Spent all day on a plane, and then I had to hurry
0.
as fast as I could to get here before sunset. Didn't even have time to eat lunch.
5. Okay. See what that does. Huh? It's taking 8,000. No drop frames.
Got my hot water bottle here. Check the leak.
Still got a lag though.
Alright, looks good. Put that in there. Well, I got some
We need a full dedicated network for that.
So we go ahead and mix up a little water with it. Let
Wait.
it sit overnight. It'll be fermented, all ready to go tomorrow morning. Making fresh bread is one of my favorite things to eat on a camp out. I get people ask me all the time how you do it. I did an entire video on how to make campfire bread. It's really good.
Alright. So
Gonna hang it up on this clothesline so mice can't get at it.
I have to remember how to do tumblers.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to watch a fucking video. Duh. Make a tumbler template in LightBurn. Setup. The only complete guide. What the fuck?
Setting up the ORTUR YRR, Y-axis rotary roller. I'd like to see you say that 3 times. There's dozens and dozens of videos on YouTube about this particular product, but not a single one takes you from start to finish and includes calibrating so that you get a good burn on your workpiece. And it was really frustrating to me when I first got mine, and I know it's frustrating to a lot of you out there. So without further ado, we're going to just jump right into it, and I will give you all of the steps that
Watch
you
how long
need
it
to set up,
takes.
calibrate, and test your YRR using LightBurn software. And like I said, as of this date, July 2021, there is no other resource that has a complete step-by-step guide. So with that, let's get started. The very first thing you're going to do, and you can find tons of videos on this, is go ahead and assemble your YRR. And we're not going to get into that. It's very simple, very straightforward. I used the instructions that came with it, and I had no problem whatsoever. Now that we're assuming that you have it assembled, we're going to position it on our bed. And what we want to do is position it directly underneath the X-rail where the laser is, right below it, dead center with the laser itself. You're going to need to raise the frame of your laser to accommodate for the size of the YRR, the roller accessory. In my case, I just grabbed 4 boxes of coffee, which raised it 140 millimeters, and I put one on each end, on each corner of the laser. Now that we have the roller accessory centered underneath our laser and straight, what we're going to do is go ahead and plug in the extension cord that came with your accessory. Now you're going to make sure that your roller accessory has the stepper motor on the left side. This is the stepper motor right here. And you're going to plug in this 4-prong extension cord to that stepper motor. And at this point, you need to make sure that your laser is powered off, but do not unplug it from the wall. We want to leave that ground where it's plugged into the wall in effect. So just press and hold the power button for 5 seconds until all the LED lights go out. Now at this point, we're going to take that accessory cable and bring it around. We're going to come over here to the stepper motor, the Y stepper motor. It should have a label on it that says Y, and we're going to unplug it. So now this is unplugged. Now you're going to bring your accessory cable around that you just plugged into your rotary, and you're going to plug it into that Y cable. So these are 2 separate pictures. You can see here's the stepper motor. We've unplugged it from the stepper motor and plugged it into the extension cord, and we're ready to move on to working in LightBurn. The very first thing we're going to do,
I hope my
is
father's
we're going
paying
to come up to the
attention,
top here.
so he knows what I go
We're
through
gonna come down
to do with tumblers.
settings. In the settings, we're going to to show rotary
What?
enable on main
Yeah,
window,
see?
and we're going
Look
to
how
tick that
fucking
on,
long
and
it
we
took.
can say OK. We're going to go into edit again. At the top, we're coming into machine settings. Now this computer doesn't have it hooked up, but I did go ahead and take a picture of it that I can bring in here. That'll bring up this window. These are your machine settings. The first thing you want to do is save your settings. Before we change these, click the save button right here, because we want to save the default settings of the machine so that we can go back to using it as a regular laser later on. So we're going to click save, and we're going to call that file default laser.lbset. You just need to type in default laser and say OK. Now once we've saved the settings of our machine, and you should have a folder on your desktop where you save these settings called LightBurn, what we're going to do then is come here and turn off the soft limit. Then we're going to move to the homing cycle and also turn that off. Once these two are turned off, we're going to come down here. Now your laser needs to be on at this point. You won't get this window unless your laser is on. I forgot to mention that. So make sure your laser is on after you've plugged it up. At this point, we're going to click the button that says write. And you'll get a little confirmation message. You might even miss it. It says settings saved to laser. Now at this point, we're going to click save again. And this time we're going to name the file rotary settings. This way we have two different profiles. We have our default settings for using our laser normally, and we have our rotary settings. And we can easily switch back and forth between the two. This way, when you're done with the rotary tool, you simply load the default settings to revert to the standard laser functions. Once that's done, click OK. The next thing we're going to do is come back up to the Edit toolbar. We're going to click Edit, and we're going to go to Device Settings. In the Device Settings, we're going to we're going to tick off Auto Home so that this doesn't get passed through as a command. And we're going to say OK. Now we're going to come back up to the Edit toolbar, and we're going to click Settings this time. And this would probably be off if you've never used your rotary before. So we're going to tick on Show Rotary Enable on the main window and click OK. Now we're going to come up to the Tools menu, click Tools, and come down here to Rotary Setup. In the Rotary Setup, we don't have the chuck type, we have the roller. So we're going to tick off Enable Rotary, make it green. We're going to make sure the radio button for Y-axis is checked, and we're going to measure the diameter of one of the rollers. And here in roller diameter is what we need to set. If you don't have a caliper, I suggest you get one because it's going to make all of your roll work much easier. Walmart's got them for about $50, so does Lowe's, Home Depot. You can get them for, $8, $10.
Oh my god, this fucking stream is so fucking behind.
I'll put some links down in the description. For those of you who want to do this the right way, you really need to put the diameter in here. That particular roller is 20.47 millimeters. Now, they do, apparently, ORTUR does use different suppliers, and there are different measurements that people get here. So yours might be, 20.4, yours might be 20.6. Whatever your diameter is what you put in here. And you're only going to set this once, forever. So as long as you have this roller, you're only going to set it one time. Now, we're also going to have on hand and ready an item that we're going to use to test once we have this all set up. I have an igloo tumbler, which has about a 3-inch diameter, and I think it's 8 inches long. So I went ahead and checked the diameter with my caliper, and it's almost 3 inches. It's 78.200. Now this particular number you will always change for whatever workpiece that you're using. So this time I'm using a tumbler, next time it might be a shot glass. The diameter is going to be different for every project that you put on here. This is the only number you're going to change in the future. Right now in the setup, we're changing 2 numbers, but in the future you'll only change this one. When you change this number, it will automatically fill in the circumference. Now you want to note down the circumference at this point, because this is what we're going to use to make an outlet in LightBurn. So once you've got your it directly in the center of our workbed. Our rotary is so with that, let's get started. The very first thing you're going to do, and you can find tons of videos on this, is go ahead and assemble your YRR. We're not going to get into that. It's very simple, very straightforward. I used the instructions that came with it, and I had no problem whatsoever. Now that we're assuming that you have it assembled, we're going to position it on our bed. And what we want to do is position it directly underneath the X-rail where the laser is, right below it, dead center with with the laser itself. You're going to need to raise the frame of your laser to accommodate for the size of the YRR, the roller accessory. In my case, I just grabbed 4 boxes of coffee, which raised it 140 millimeters, and I put one on each end, on each corner of the laser. Now that we have the roller accessory centered underneath our laser and straight, what we're going to do is go ahead and plug in the extension cord that came with your accessory. And we're going to make sure that your roller accessory has the stepper motor on the left side. This is the stepper motor right here. And you're going to plug in this 4-prong extension cord to that stepper motor. And at this point, you need to make sure that your laser is powered off, but do not unplug it from the wall. We want to leave that ground where it's plugged into the wall in effect. So just press the power button for 5 seconds until all the LED lights go out. Now at this point, we're going to take that accessory cable and bring it around. We're going to come over here to the stepper motor, the Y stepper motor. It should have a label on it that says Y. And we're going to unplug it. So now this is unplugged. Now you're going to bring your accessory cable around that you just plugged into your rotary, and you're going to plug it into that Y cable. So these are 2 separate pictures. You can see here's the stepper motor. We unplugged it from the stepper motor and plugged it into the extension cord. And we're ready to move on to working in LightBurn. The very first thing we're going to do is we're going to come up to the top here, edit, and we're going to come down to settings. In the settings, we're going to come up here to show rotary enable on main window, and we're going to tick that on. And we can say, okay, we're going to go into edit again, up to the top, and come down here to machine settings. Now this computer doesn't have it hooked up, but I did go ahead and take a picture of it that I can bring in here. That'll bring up this window. These are your machine settings. The first thing you want to do is save your settings. Before we change any settings in here, go to click the save button right here, because we want to save the default settings of the machine so that we can go back to using it as a regular laser later on. So we're going to click save, and we're going to call that file default laser.lbset. You just need to type in default laser and say OK. Now once we've saved the settings of our machine, and you should have a folder on your desktop where you save these settings called LightBurn, what we're going to do then is come here and turn off the soft limit. Then we're going to move to the homing cycle and also turn that on. Once these 2 are turned off, we're going to come back here. Now your laser needs to be on at this point. You won't get this window unless your laser is on. I forgot to mention that. So make sure your laser is on after you plug it up. At this point, we're going to click the button that says right. And you'll get a little confirmation message. You might even miss it. It says settings saved to laser. Now at this point, we're going to click save again. And this time we're going to name the file rotary settings. This way we have 2 different profiles. We have our default settings for using our laser normally. And we have our rotary settings. And we can easily switch back and forth between the 2. This way when you're done with the rotary tool, you simply load the default and reverse the standard laser motions. Once that's done, next thing we're going to do, back up to the edit toolbar. We're going to click edit, and we're going to go to device settings. In device settings, we're going to turn off, we're going to tick off auto.
Knock it off!
This doesn't get necessarily command. And we're going to say, okay. Now we're going to come back up to the edit toolbar, and we're going to click settings this time. And this would probably be off. You've never used your rotary before. So we're going to tick on show rotary enable on the main window and click OK. Now we're going to come up to the tools menu, click tools, and come down here to rotary setup. In the rotary setup, we don't have the chuck tack, we have the roller. So we're going to tick off enable rotary, make it green. We're going to make sure the radio button for Y-axis is checked, and we're going to measure the diameter of one of the rollers. And here in roller diameter is what we need to set. If you don't have a caliper, and I suggest you get one because it's going to make all of your roll work much easier. Walmart's got them for about $50, so does Lowe's, Home Depot. Harbor Freight, you can get them for $8 or $10. You can get them just about anywhere. You can get them on Amazon. A I'll put some links down in the description. For those of you who want to do this the right way, you really need to put the diameter in here. On that particular roller, it is 20.47 millimeters.
Oh.
Now, they do, apparently, ORTUR does use different suppliers, and there are different measurements.
Another mic or something having a weird reverb. I don't know. I didn't touch nothing.
And you're only going to set this once, forever. So as long as you have this roller, you're only going to set it one time. And we're also going to have on hand and ready an item that we're going to use to test once we have this all set up. I have an igloo tumbler, which has about a 3-inch diameter, and I think it's 8 inches long. So I went ahead and checked the diameter with my caliper, and it's almost 3 inches, 70.200. Now this particular number you will always change for whatever workpiece that you're using. So this time I'm using a tumbler, next time it might be a shot glass. The diameter is going to be different for every project that you put on here. This is the only number you're going to change in the future. Right now in the setup, we're changing 2 numbers, but in the future you'll only change this one. When you change this number, it will automatically fill in the circumference. Now you want to note down the circumference at this point, because this is what we're going to use to make a template in LightBurn. So once you've got your object diameter set, click OK. The next step that we're going to do in LightBurn is we're going to draw a rectangle. And any rectangle, you're going to set it on the 0, 0 layer, the bottom left corner of the color palette. Going to make sure that the lock is unlocked, and in the height is where I'm going to paste my circumference. I just copied it from the last screen. And I'm going to press enter at this point. The height is my circumference. This is a template that goes all the way around the item that you're about to engrave. Think of it as a label on a bottle, for instance, and the bottle is laying down on its side. This would go all the way around.
I did not touch anything.
Touch on both sides. Now what we're going to do is set the width of this. Now the width is the actual engraving area. So now saying that the bottle is laying on its side, this is the wrapper that goes all the way around, and this is how wide we want to make it. So if you have a tumbler that's, say, 180 millimeters tall, like mine, and you just want to engrave the top 70 millimeters, you'd set the width to 70. We'll come up here for this example, and we'll
Where the fuck did yellow
70
go?
and press enter. We have our circumference, and we have our engraving area. All of the artwork that we do has to be within this rectangle here. The next thing we're going to do is create an accuracy test, which some people call dialing in the machine. So we're going to come up here to our selector tool and select it, make sure all the handles are visible. We're going to press the Control and D button. You notice it turned black. It created a duplicate copy of it. Now what I'm going to do now, and I'm going to make the width of the duplicate copy 4 millimeters and press enter. So we now have a 4 millimeter stripe rectangle in here inside our work area. The work area is the label. This is something we're going to be using for testing purposes. Now I'm going to make sure my selector is enabled. I'm going to select the outside circle. I'm going to come down to the bottom right, and I'm going to put this on the color palette T1. The T1 palette is a toolpath. It will not burn, but it will still frame. And I'm going to leave this one on the 0, 0, which will output, and it will burn. That's going to allow us to dial in the rotary. Now what I'm going to do is position this on our workbench. Now we know that our YRR is somewhere over here. It's in the middle of the
Get
work
over here.
product.
Violet.
So I'm going to press Control and the letter A, which will select all of these. Now I'm going to come up here to
Get
X
in
pose
here.
and Y pose. X position, Y position. Now we know the X position of this workbed is 400
Where is it,
millimeters.
Juliet?
So to get to the center, we're going to type in 200 millimeters, half of the 400. We also know that the Y position is 430. We have a 400 by 430 work plane. So I'm going to type in 215 in this box and press enter. And now this is located directly in the center of our workbed. Our rotary is positioned right here. And the next thing we're going to do is prepare the item. And like I said, I have an igloo. This is an igloo tumbler. It's about 3 inches wide. And I'm going to put painter's tape all the way around it to protect it so that I don't ruin it by marking the first engraving to dial in the laser. So now we've already raised the frame on our laser. It's all set to go. I'm going to hit the fire button and just position it direct, make sure that it's perfectly centered on the tumbler, right in the middle of the tumbler. I'm going to drop my tumbler on top of here. I'm going to position my laser so that it's perfectly centered. And I'm going to adjust my focus, obviously. And I'm going to click frame. It's going to spin the tumbler 360 degrees, and then it's going to come back to the starting point. At this point, I'm ready to set our cuts and layers. And I'm going to come up here. If I right-click on this, you'll see it flash right here. This is what's going to burn, so I'm going to double click this. I'm going to set my speed, but this is good just the way it is, at 850% power. And I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to come over to the laser, frame it one more time, and then I'm going to hit start. This little 4mm rectangle should burn all the way around the tumbler until it comes to the other side. And this is what it looks like here. So this is the beginning, both the beginning and the end of my burn. If for some reason yours doesn't come out this way, then you need to measure the distance between the two ends. If they're short, and let's say one landed here and one landed here, then we need to go back into the roller setup and fix that. Click tools, rotary setup, and what we're going to change in here is millimeters per rotation. Coming back to the cup.
Oh my god, I
Move this out of the
fucking
way
hit it.
so we get a better idea. So we come back to the cup, and let's say your line winds up here, and the other line winds up here, and there's nothing in between. What you're going to do is measure from this line to this line, and we're going to add
fucking
that
hit the
measurement. Say,
camera.
let's say it's
God
10
damn
millimeters.
it.
We're going to come here to millimeters per
Motherfuck!
rotation, and we're going to increase this number by 10 millimeters. If your lines overlap, so let's say that you have a line here like I have and a line here, and you see the lines in between, that means it went too far. I'm going to measure between this line and this line again, and we're going to decrease this number, millimeters per rotation, and then run the burn again in another spot. It should only take one try, maybe two. Mine was perfect on the first try, but not everybody has that luck. You'll see in some of the other videos that you've probably watched already. So this is the only time that you're going to set millimeters per rotation, just in the setup. If you get a clean burn like I did where the two lines met, then you wouldn't change this number at all. This number was set at 20 in the LightBurn software. My actual measurement was 20.04, just a half a millimeter off. It was just a fraction off, and I reset it to 20.04. So that's it for the settings. How do you draw a graphic? At this point, we can take and delete this rectangle because it's of no use to us anymore. We've already calibrated our roller. So now it's time to create a design.
What is the
You know,
fucking
you can
problem?
create any design that you make. It doesn't matter what it is.
How?
I'm going to bring in a fish, I guess. And what I'm going to do here is come up to rotate. I'm going to type in here minus 90 degrees. I'm going to shrink it down so that it fits within this box, because this is our working area, so it has to fit inside here. I'm going to hold down shift and click the box around it so that everything's selected, or you could do Control A. I'm going to come up here to the bullseye, and I'm going to bullseye that, put it right in the middle, like so. And again, imagine this as a bottle laying on its side, and this is the label. Now any text that you put in here, so let's say I did gone, you'd have to do the same thing to it. You'd have to come up to rotate, put in minus 90, and go ahead and put that in your graphic. And again, we did fishing, we select it, come up here, minus 90, turn it, select both of those and put it on an actual burn layer. So now we're set, and it's ready to burn. And this is exactly how it's going to burn on the laser. Now I know it looks kind of strange, you know, why don't you just keep it the other way, but this is the y-axis. So when the rollers move, they're going to move, you know, in this direction, and it's going to spin your cup in the opposite direction. So it takes a little getting used to doing something like this, but this is it. This is all you have to do. And you can just go ahead and save this as a template, a LightBurn template, and then all you do the next time you come in is click on the rectangle, adjust, get your circumference, you know, from your item. You measure your item, you go into your tools, rotary setup, you put in your diameter. So let's say this next item that I'm doing is 24 millimeters. See how circumference changes? Watch, I'll type the 4. It now changed to 75. That's all you have to do. And then we just go ahead and copy that. Say OK. Click the rectangle. Change the height by pasting in the new circumference. And then of course you have to change the width and making sure that this is unlocked. And let's say the new width is 35, something like that. Maybe we have a shot glass or whatever. That's all you have to do is change those two. Tools, once you've done setting up, tools, rotary setup, change the object diameter, copy the circumference, say OK, paste the circumference into the height, and you're done. There's one more thing that I want to mention, and that is not all control boards are compatible with the rotary, and you would think that ORTUR would have this addressed, but they don't. Now, the testing that I did was on a 7 watt, a 15 watt, and a 20 watt. The 20 watt machine would not work under these settings. So go to Tools, Rotary Setup, and in here, all you have to do is disable Enable Rotary if these settings don't work for you, and just go ahead and set your millimeters per rotation at 20. That's all you have to do, and say OK. And this is only if these instructions that I've just given you don't work. So if you do this, and then you come back and you try and set the millimeters per rotation and nothing happens, then just go ahead and turn off Enable Rotary. At this point, your laser will just use the rotary tool as the y-axis. And we've already gone up in here and set the measurements in here with the height as the circumference. And actually, you know, any machine you could do this. You could turn off the rotary and just use the height measurement, and LightBurn will pass it through to your control board. It'll work just fine. But there are some machines it works on and some it doesn't. Again, it's another quality control issue from these machines that are built in China. I hope this helped you out. I really had a hard time finding this information. I couldn't find the information. I had to spend a couple of hours just going step by step, changing things myself until I
2 by 4.
It's really not hard
Looks
to do
like
if you know the
this.
steps.
They're
It
all
would be
way in
really
the
great
back.
if
Yeah, well, I
would
know.
actually include a step-by-step tutorial with their hardware to show you how to set it up in the software, but they don't. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you for watching.
And this week we're checking out a new laser and learning about the rotary. Let's roll the intro and get started.
Oh, fuck off.
This week we're going to be building the ORTUR Laser Master 2 Pro. This laser was provided to me by a company called LightBurn. I'll be sure to link them down below. When they reached out to me, I said I was super keen to learn about the rotary attachment, so they sent it along with the laser for us to learn about today. Our first step is to put it together. I'm going to speed through this process. There's already tons of information out there on the internet about putting them together, and then we can get to the meat of this video, which is learning about the rotary attachment. If you're a beginner and you're looking to instructions don't come in the box. You have to have a digital device to read them from. It took me about 2 hours to put together, and it is quite fiddly, but we are here. Some things that I like about it: it has really nice, heavy, sturdy construction. I also like that it has limit switches. When I power on the laser, it automatically knows to hit the home. Some things that I don't like about it: the length of the power cable. It's not very long, especially when you compare it to the USB cable, which is quite long. It would have been nice if those lengths were switched around, but it is what it is. Now with this laser, two laser heads that you can choose. Short focus and a long focus. I have been provided with the long focus, which also includes all of the bits and pieces to add air assist, including the
Alright, just
I
leave
will
it
add air
right
assist
there.
at a later date because I'm interested to learn about it, but we're not going to focus on it today. From my research, the short focus laser is excellent at engraving and good at cutting, whereas the long focus is excellent at cutting and good at engraving. Now, before we get to the rotary attachment, I want to run some tests so that I can learn a little bit about the laser and its settings. So I'm going to use samples, run some tests and learn about it, and then we can get to the rotary attachment. Alright, I've gone ahead and done some simple testing, which you've just seen. Overall, pretty happy with the machine. But what we're here for today is the rotary attachment. I want to get this guy unpacked and start to get into it and learn about it. I know absolutely nothing about the rotary machine, so we can learn together. First things, let's get this box open, have a look at what's inside, and get it all together. Alright, the rotary is all put together. Not too hard to do. The manual does include pictures with written instructions, and I will also include a video below if seeing it being put together visually is more your jam, because it definitely helped me out. But I think there are two critical things missing from these instructions. Number one, they do not show you how to set up the rotary using LightBurn. They do run you through with laser girdle, but there is no mention of LightBurn. But even more critical than that, they don't include how to use the rotary. They don't show you how to make adjustments or how to use it. So there is definitely a learning curve involved. And I'm going to be honest with you, for the last 2 nights, I've had to put the camera down and troubleshoot how to use the rotary. Because when I connected it to the laser, I started to run into a whole host of problems. I couldn't get it to frame, it was running into different axes, it was running all over the place. It turns out that out of the box, I was running old firmware. Out of the box, this had firmware 185. The latest firmware is 187. So I have gone ahead and updated the firmware. You can do that using a Mac or a Windows PC. It's pretty easy to do. There's lots of instructions out there. And I think I am now at a point where we can actually use the rotary. The first thing I'm going to do is show you how to make the adjustments for whatever you're going to burn onto, and then hopefully we can get it hooked up to the laser and get burning. With the rotary, there are a couple of things that you can adjust. The first one being these bearings. Depending on what you're lasering will depend on whether or not you need to have this attached to the rotary or not. If you do, it simply attaches down the front here, and it's designed to help keep the workpiece level. For example, if you're doing a wine glass, then you would have to have this attached, and the stem would sit in the middle to help keep everything level. If you're doing something like a water bottle, you may not need to have those bearings attached. With the rotary itself, there are 2 things you need to adjust. The belt, which adjusts by this nut down here because it has a slide up and down to tension the belt, and also the roller itself. We're going to go ahead and remove the belt first, and then we can change our roller. Now that the belt is off, I can adjust the roller. The roller that has the triangle piece of plastic is the one that to where it is appropriate to hold up the workpiece.
Okay. 1, 2. That'll raise it even more.
Now that I've got my roller in the correct position, I can re-tension my belt. You do want to pull this lower nut down pretty tight, as you want the belt to be quite firm. This is now ready to be attached to the laser. Just quickly before we attach the rotary to the laser, I want to stop and give a quick shout out to Scott over at Scott's Custom Creations. I will link his Instagram below. He's one of the nicest guys in the Aussie making community, and he also makes fantastic products for makers, so be sure to go and check out his website. I have been so frustrated for the last 2 days trying to get this rotary to work, and I reached out to Scott knowing he had a similar setup, and he was so lovely. He sent me a 6-minute video with tips and tricks, so thank you, Scott, for sending those through, because I'm going to share those today so that they not only help me, but they also help everyone watching this video. We're at the point where we can attach the rotary to the laser and finally, hopefully, burn something. It's been a long time coming and I'm excited. I should mention we also need to raise up the laser. I'm probably going to come up with a permanent solution, but for the time being, some screw boxes and wood will do the job. The first thing I need to do without plugging the rotary in, so it is as it is a standard laser, is power it on. It will auto home, and at the same time, I'm going to fire up LightBurn.
Too high.
Now I'm going to draw just a random rectangle box somewhere in the middle of my workpiece, and under location I'm going to send the laser somewhere out into the middle. Now that I have done that, I'm going to attach the rotary. To do that, I need this jumper cable. So one end is going to be plugged into the rotary itself, and the other one I'm going to unplug the Y motor from the stepper motor over here and plug it into the jumper cable. That has now connected the roller. I now need to set up the roller. So to do that, I'm going to go to Laser Tools, Rotary Setup. I'm going to select that it is a roller, and here I need to take some critical measurements. So you are going to need a set of calipers. For my calipers, I'm going to measure the diameter of my rollers. Mine are 19.66. I'm going to enter that into my roller diameter. That now will never have to change unless I change the rotary itself. Now from here I need to also put in my object diameter. This is what is going to change depending on what you're lasering. I'm going to practice on this water bottle, so I'm going to take its diameter, which is 69.24 millimeters. From there, the system will auto-calculate the circumference. We need to either write that number down or copy and paste it, because we need to know this in the event, especially if you're going to design something that's going to go the whole way around your object. That circumference number that you've just got, you're going to enter that into the height of the rectangle that you have just drawn somewhere in the middle of your workpiece. Now that we've got the height, which is the measurement the whole way around the object, we now need the width. That's going to depend on what your object is. For this, I know that I can comfortably work within 60 millimeters, so I'm going to set my width to 60 millimeters. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but if you are using a water bottle that has a removable lid, I would suggest removing it, because it can throw the balance off. Now I can insert my water bottle onto my rollers, and I can test to make sure that it's going to roll freely and not interrupt with anything, and the water bottle's not going to move. To do that, I'm just going to hit frame. It will move the rollers and the laser left to right. Now we're going to run a quick test to make sure that we have dialed in our settings correctly. To do that, I'm going to take my rectangle and I'm going to Command D to duplicate. I'm going to change my width to be 4 millimeters. I also am going to put that into a rectangle on a toolpath so that it's very directly not actually going to burn. So I'll put that on T1. Now I should also mention a video that I found quite helpful through this process, which I will link below, is a video from the Louisiana Hobby Guide. This test that we're about to run is from that video. So on my lines, I have set up my settings at 800 speed at 50% power. Now at this point, I should be able to press frame, and this will check that the rollers are working, and I can also make sure that the water bottle is not moving left and right. Make sure that everything is nice and steady, which it looks like, which is great.
What's up, Walker?
And because the line is only at 50%,
I
it's
took a
scientifically not
little
running
break.
through the blue painter's tape, because I don't actually want to ruin the workpiece.
I have a rotary.
That I
Yeah.
have my settings dialed in, and then we can put some artwork on here. Now I think we are ready to go. We're gonna move you forward, and then we
Walker.
can start.
What's up, buddy?
Alright, I will also mention while the laser is running, I have a fan going and I have the roller door to my right open so that the fumes are being blown out. Now, something that I noticed in that test is that it was going round way too many times. It did way more than one rotation. I have worked out, I think, what that is. In my rotary setup, I have my millimeters.
Oh my God.
To 20.04, which is the same as the Louisiana hobby guide.
Just one thing
Rerun the
after
test and see if
fucking
that works.
another.
Hopefully, I haven't burnt through my paper and onto my workpiece, but we will soon find out. So I'm going to change that.
Fuck.
Okay, my settings are all dialed in. For this water bottle, it needed to be set to that number until you get that perfect rectangle matching all the way around. There's probably some scientific calculations, but I ain't that smart. I'm just going to play around with it until I get it right or close enough to where I'm happy. I'm now at the point where I can remove the blue painter's tape, load in my logo, and then hopefully burn my logo onto the water bottle. So, let's have a crack.
Ah.
My logo is loaded, but before I press start, I want to share a quick tip with you that's got shared with me that I haven't seen anywhere and I think could be really helpful. It has to do with the number of rotations your object is going to do. You really only want it to do one rotation. This will help eliminate any misalignment. You're going to go to the advanced tab and you're going to make sure the hot fill is turned off. This means that the rotary will only do one rotation and it will do everything in that line as it goes. Fantastic tip. I think everyone should know it, and I think that's the point where I can press start. And hopefully in a couple of minutes, I've got a water bottle with a logo on it. It worked! Totally the wrong way around, but I don't even care because it worked. I painted something onto a bottle. I know it's the wrong way around. That's because I think I'm a pelican and I should have my rotary this way. So the stepper motor is matching the stepper motor. Pretty sure that's what I need to do, but as a first go. I did it! Look at that. Alright, now I'm going to do it on the other side because I've already ruined this bottle, so now this will be my test bottle to see whether or not turning that around is in fact the right thing to do. So let's turn that around. I'm going to make it the logo smaller just so it doesn't take so long. That print took 23 minutes, so let's make it slightly smaller. Do the other side. See if I can get it right. Yes, it worked! Look at that!
So this
Yeah, that looks good.
there,
Wow,
here,
what about is this feeling right here when I pushed through the last 2 nights of frustration to
and
finally achieve the goal that I set out to
this.
achieve. I can't believe it. The
Let me
alignment
just
is
put it
terrible.
here.
Yes, it's on there the right way.
still
I can dial
fucking-
the settings further from here, but that makes me so happy. So I have worked out that the design has to be facing down on the workbed and facing to the left. But that
Inch
looks so
on each
delicious.
side.
I want to give a huge thank you to Made the Best, who has supplied me with the laser and the rotary. I will link these products down in the description below, and also a huge thank you to Mark for helping me getting the rotary up and running. I hope this video has helped you. If it has helped me out by hitting the subscribe and like buttons, I'm going to continue to celebrate, and I'll see you on the next one.
this is gonna be too high. That's the highest I can get this up.
We're gonna do one of these, which a lot of people claim they're stubborn. They're not really that stubborn. And we're going to do some stainless steel. We're also going to do a mug with a handle. And I'm even going to engrave a photo onto a copy.
No, it's not.
Now what you will need is a flexible measuring tape. And that allows you to be able to measure how big you want
So I gotta lift these up a little bit. Oop, that's as low as it goes. What the fuck? These are corners. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 corners. Should I cut corners? This? Oh. Oh, I need to go to fucking Rite Aid or Dollar General. So much fucking bullshit. I don't even think, no, I've never used a rotary tool on the 20 watt. 10 watt I have. Home. Go to the middle. Is this the middle? This is the middle. This. Oh. They're there. Small ones. Got them fucking small ones in. for a tumbler. Okay. Fuck.
Hello and welcome to another video. Today we will be editing a photo ready for laser engraving using a website called ImageR. The website is shown in the video and will also be in the description. They do also have their own tutorials if you want to check them out. This website allows you to currently edit 3 images a day for free. If you want unlimited access, you will need to pay for a plan.
A little better. So,
to start, all you need to do is simply click upload. You then get the option to choose grayscale or color. Choose the grayscale option as it helps with adjusting contrast and pulling out details. Find the image you want to laser engrave and select it. ImageR will then upload it and show you its current size and DPI. The layout of the website, in my opinion, is really good and flows well. We start at the left, then just move along. So next we crop our image if we wanted to. You can manually crop the image, and also down the bottom you can input your own size. You also have the option to round the corners.
so now I gotta redo this.
Resize tab. If we open it, you will see you can choose from pixels, inches, and millimeters. I like millimeter, so I set it to that. Then input your size and your machine's DPI. If you don't know your machine's DPI yet, leave it as it is for now, as I will show you how to quickly download a DPI.
Here we go again.
Once done, you will see more options appear down the left side.
Fuck.
You can hide these if you want at any time, by just clicking on the advanced option in the right top corner. The left
Save.
image is our original, and the right one is where you will see our edits and changes we make. Imager does have a one-click option. This is called One Touch. This will adjust everything in the list it shows you, unless you uncheck the boxes. This feature can be good at times, but can also overdo it on the edits. Personally, I like to do my edits manually. Once you click it, the software will apply the changes and show you them on screen. If we zoom in, you can see it really has sharpened the hair in some places, but also blurred it in others.
How do I fucking rotate this?
If we zoom in, you can see it really has sharpened the hair in some places, but also blurred it in others. Also, it has lost some skin definition. This is most likely down to the denoise it has applied, so let's turn it off and take another look. If we zoom in again, the hair is looking better, and if we look around at the rest of the image, the details are coming out quite nicely. Now I will reset the image and show you the manual features. Let's take a look at the denoise feature first, as this is what gave me the blur issues earlier. I will keep it low, as too much you will end up with less details. For me, this is still a little too much, so I tried a value of one which seemed to work nicely. slider down a little to see if we can find a middle ground for both. That is better, but we can adjust more to fine-tune our image. Let's take a look at the color correction. This feature will adjust the photo and even out the tones. Let's zoom in to take a closer look at the results. It hasn't done a bad job, maybe a little too light, but this is down to our gamma adjustment, so we'll need to change that again. Choose our material and an algorithm. Image currently has 10 dithering algorithms and the grayscale option. My go-to is normally Skeldon or Acacia. This has now dithered our image, meaning it is now made up of lots of little dots. We can now take a look at a preview of what our image will look like. In the preview, you can choose from some different options to see what it will look like on certain wood. Please remember this is only a preview. Your results may differ drastically if you don't have the right settings on your laser machine. This meaning, speed, power, and DPI.
Oh, I gotta go to Dollar General. No, I've been drinking coffee all fucking morning.
Next, you can choose a range of DPI to test. You can do the more if you wish. Most lasers range from 212 to 426 DPI. This will cover you for those lower DPI and higher values. Now we have the values you want. Just click down here. This will get
Fucking, I don't understand the lag.
Let's jump into LightBurn to see our test. Lay out your images however you want. Then on the engraving layer, you must, and I can't stress this enough, be especially careful. Otherwise the images will get processed again by LightBurn. Set your speed and power for your images, and that is if your test is ready. The steps are the exact same if you water a full image. Just make sure pass-through is on. This is a quick speed up of the DPI test. This is the end result before I cleaned and after. I decided to go with the 318 DPI. This is because I felt it was slightly more cleaner. The 363 looked okay, but I know from a lot of testing my machine is not able to achieve this high DPI. This is the speeded up results. If I was to do it again, I would up the power a tiny bit, just to try and capture the flowers more.
Alright.
Thanks for watching. I hoped it has helped, and I will see you next video.
very straightforward. I used the instructions that came with it, and I had no problem whatsoever. Now the procedure is pretty simple. We're going to position on our bed, and what we're going to do is position it directly underneath the X-rail where the laser is, right below it, dead center with the laser itself. You're going to need to raise the frame of your laser to accommodate for the size of the wire or the wire accessory. In my case, I just grabbed 4 boxes of coffee, which raised it 140 millimeters, and I put one on each corner of the laser. Now that we have the roller accessory centered underneath our laser and straight.
Shit. Come on.
Right here. And the next thing we're going to do is prepare the item. And like I said, I have an igloo. This is an igloo tumbler. It's about Hey, it's Rich, the hobby guy. Today's tutorial is going to be on setting up the ORTUR YRR Y-axis rotary roller. I'd like to see you say that 3 times. There's dozens and dozens of videos on YouTube about this particular product, but not a single one takes you from start to finish and includes calibrating so that you get a good burn on your workpiece. And it was really frustrating to me when I first got mine, and I know it's frustrating to a lot of you out there. So without further ado, we're going to just jump right in, and I will give you all of the steps that you need to set up,
Alcohol.
calibrate, and test your YRR using LightBurn software. Like I said, as of this date, July 2021, there is no other resource that has a complete step-by-step guide. So with that, let's get started. The very first thing you're going to do, and you can find tons of videos on this, is go ahead and assemble your YRR. We're not going to get into that. It's very simple, very straightforward. I used the
If you'd like to know how to make a full wrap.
Alright, so I want you to take a look at the rotary setup and configuration for the Algo Laser Alpha. Hi everyone, and in this short video I'm going to show you guys how to calibrate the ORTUR Home multi-purpose rotary.
It came out backwards. I forgot to mirror it.
So we will power it on. Oh, maybe. Power it on, you can see it's blinking. And that means there's some issue with connection. So come over to my computer. I've got LightBurn selected.
Of laser software before. So the way I want to approach this tutorial is like a murder mystery where we're going to be a detective to figure out the who.
Hey y'all, it's Steve from Wood. I've been absent from YouTube for a little bit, but we're going to jump back in here. Today we're going to be looking at engraving with the rotary. We're going to be using our diode laser to engrave with the rotary, and specifically we're going to be engraving bamboo.
Yep. Shit. Alright, I'm gonna go lay down for a little bit. Bye. I'll be on later.